Gonna wait for a few people to join here before we get started. You guys can see my, I took the cone off my laser there. I took that off because you can see all the stuff it's pushing forward back into my exhaust back there. I processed this photo with the Big Gimping Plug In for GIMP. I chose 300 DPI this time just because this is a huge photo and I can run a little faster that way. This here is about 27 by 15. You can see how much detail it's getting. There's no treatment on this wood. There's no baking soda or borax or anything like that on this. This is just natural from the GIMP plugin. When you get your machine settings right, you'll get this result every time. It's really awesome for 3D photos. And just about any photo, really. pretty universal on many different substrates, you know, materials and whatnot. I'm going to show you guys quick how I processed this photo, what I used. Here we are in Lightburn, the size up there, about 28 inches, about 15, 28 by 15 or so. This is what I started the power at and the speed. This is millimeters per second here. I'm currently at 341 and 56.5% power. I'll bring you guys over to GIMP here real quick. Here's the processed photo here, zoomed into 100%, so you can really see the detail in there. You can zoom in, and when you're burning your photo, you're gonna wanna see exactly this on your substrate, okay? Exactly this. The more of this detail you transfer, the better your result will be. I'll go ahead and zoom out. You guys can kind of see when you get out to a further zoom level, it starts looking more like a photo, okay? So here's the plug-in right up here. In order to install this, you simply come over here to the edit menu, preferences. Okay, and then you're gonna go down to folders, right down here. And you're gonna scroll down to plugins right here. And now on Windows, you're gonna select this top folder, okay? And on Mac, you're gonna select this folder. And you're gonna hit this little file cabinet here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hit that file cabinet, and then you'll go to the plugins folder that's automatically highlighted there. And when you download the plugin, you're gonna get these files within a zip file, okay? I'm using the V3 plugin right now, and you'll simply go to your downloads folder and drag this PY file, this Python file into this plugins folder here. And once you get that in there, you simply close this, press OK, shut down GIMP and reopen it, and your plugin will be right up here. Now if you're on a Mac, you select this bottom directory here, you select the file cabinet, right? And then when you come back and you go to your plugins folder, let me cancel out of that real quick. I'll go back to the preferences folder here. Go down to folders. Okay, plugins. And what you're gonna do is once you're in here, you open this file cabinet. This is for Mac now. You will press both of your mouse buttons on this file, on this folder here, and you will do a new terminal window. And then you will chmod, give this folder permissions. After you do that, you restart GIMP, and your plugin will appear up in the menu here, right up here. And then once we get over to Lightburn, the most important thing is when you process a photo with the GIMP plugin here, is in Lightburn, you're gonna go ahead and enable pass-through mode here. Now, I processed this photo in GIMP at 300 dpi. Apparently, when you bring it into Lightburn using pass-through mode, it's automatically going to update your line interval. So I didn't change this to 300 because apparently it does that by itself. Here's my starting settings here. I run in millimeters. And then you're gonna go ahead and press OK. Send it over to your machine here like so. And you can see I'm currently at 341 millimeters per second and 56.5% power. and I'll bring you guys over to the photo here and let you see what's going on here. This is about 28 by 15. I'm running this on a AP Lazer 4024 here. When you get your settings and your focus just right, you're going to be able to get right in there and you're going to see all of the detail that was on the processed photo on your screen when you're zoomed in 100%. Now, I have this taped here because that air assist cone, let me grab that for you real quick here. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. This right here. This is no good for your laser. What happens is the air comes straight down, right? It hits the substrate and it spreads 360 degrees, and that's bringing all that dust and dirt and whatnot back over your work, and it's going to give you a deceiving result, and it's going to drive you nuts figuring out your settings, especially if you're doing a painted tile, because you really need to keep that clean and dust free from the paint dust and whatnot. And the dust will actually fill in the negative space that you're engraving away on a tile, white tile painted black. It'll actually fill the whites back with black paint dust. So what you're seeing here is, you can see back behind where the laser is running here, back here, you can see all the stuff it's pushing forward back to my exhaust fan pulling in back there. And this way it works together. I know it looks ugly, but you know, the work is real clean. And you guys can hear the beam. You can hear how focused it is, right? Scratching away into the substrate there, into the plywood. And I'll show you guys. So when you start a job, and if you have an auto Z table, before you press your start button here, go ahead and press speed. Now this is before you press start. Drop your speed all the way down to 1 millimeter per second, or however slow your machine will move in inches or whatnot. And then when you press you'll follow by enter to enter your speed setting, right? And now what you can do when you press the ZU button, you can use these arrow keys to slowly focus your beam, okay? Because your Z table will move at 1 millimeter per second, or even a little less if you give it a little tap here. And what that does is it really zeroes in your focus, and you can hear it when it's right, especially when you're using this much power. I'm using this much power because I'm going much faster than normal, so I can get away with it. And when you start hearing that beam scratching like this, you're gonna also start seeing the detail, okay? And that's when you're gonna be focused at your finest point. Now, if you're using a focus gauge or whatnot, don't trust it, because every lens is made within tolerances. So it could be slightly different than a new one of the, you know, same lens. So if you're using a focus gauge, it's just going to get you close enough, basically. So you can really zero in that focus, though, by doing as I just said. If you guys are just joining, I just walked you guys through how to install the Big Gimping plugin. This is for GIMP. GIMP is a free software, and it really does a great job, especially on 3D photos. There's no baking soda or borax or none of that jazz on here. It's just raw wood, raw plywood, and that's where GIMP really shines with this plug-in here. And you can do 3D photos on tile, anodized aluminum, Romark, you know, the duets or whatnot, the black to white or white to black plastic acrylic. That really does a great job, and we can also cut it with our machines. So that's a huge bonus. Again, you're supposed to process everything at 600 DPI within the GIMP plugin, but I went ahead and processed this one at 300 DPI just so I can run faster and get this job done quicker, because it's about to start storming outside here, and I can't stop this. It's too promising so far, so I'm not going to stop it. It's also very important, guys, to have your substrate completely level with your gantry here. If it's not, then when you do a big photo like this, it's going to be out of focus on one of the sides, or maybe front to back. But it's definitely level out your bed. What I do, this is when you can see the line on my tape there. You see that line? Okay, so this is my focus gauge. Ghetto, I know. But this works better than any focus gauge that you're going to get with your machine, because what I do is when I hear it zipping like this, right? When the photo's done running, I'll take this, I'll set it next to it, I'll take my Sharpie, and I'll draw a line on the tape there, so I know where to line this up at when I'm focusing my machine here. So what you do to make sure your material is completely level with your gantry here is you're gonna move your laser head to each corner of your machine, okay? Focus it how you normally would. You can use your focus gauge for this, because we're just trying to get, you know, a distance between the bottom of the laser head to the substrate. So when you get that and it's touching the substrate or whatnot, if you're using the AP laser focus gauge, you kind of hang it off the edge of the lip there that's on the lens tube there. And then what you do is, once you don't touch the Z-axis anymore, you know, to focus your machine, then you're going to move something flat, such as a tile, to the next corner of your machine, and you're just going to make sure that your focus gauge is still in the exact same spot, because a lot of the times on these AP lasers here, I have to keep adjusting, leveling the bed with the gantry, because sometimes it shakes when you start going real fast or whatnot, you know, like any other machine. And when that happens, you know, you start losing your calibration. So I just make sure it's level in all four corners. And when it is, then you can start doing big photos like this, and it will keep its focus all the way across the whole work area, you know, front to back and left to right on the Y and X axes there. Now, if you guys watch this from the start, I show you how to install the plugin into GIMP. And you guys can all get this result. You just have to calibrate your machine, use this process, and once everything's calibrated and you find your perfect settings, you'll get this result. And so how I find my perfect settings is, so when I'm starting out in Lightroom, I'll just enter, you know, like 10% power, minimum and maximum. Keep your min and max the same all the time, right? And I know that's going to be too low. It's probably not even going to mark the substrate, but we're trying to find where perfect is, okay? And as the machine's running, like right now, I can press the minimum power button, right? And now this is to raise the power upwards. You press minimum, and when you do that, it's going to keep the maximum the same. And to go down in power, you press the maximum power button, and you use the arrow keys here to arrow over, change your decimals or whatnot, and then followed by enter, okay? So what I do is, if I start at 10%, I know it's not going to mark nothing. So what I do is then I'll raise it up 1 more percent to 11. Press enter, and then I'll see what's happening on the substrate. And I'll keep doing that. It's really good to use on a tile or any substrate you use, really. But when I do that, you can start seeing the photos start coming together. And then after it's looking good to you, don't settle for mediocre, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna keep going upwards with the power until it gets too destructive. And then that means you pass perfect. So then you're gonna back the power back down by pressing the max power button first. Use your arrows on your keypad to adjust your power down 0.1%. And you're gonna back it down to where perfect was. And that way you don't have to guess your settings. You don't have to use anybody else's settings and get frustrated with all that nonsense. Because a lot of people just settle for mediocre, and we don't do that here. We find perfect and we run with it. And that's exactly how you do it. I think my phone battery is about to die, guys, so I'm probably gonna have to hang up here. But I'll save this video. There'll be 21 minutes to watch, and you guys can learn how to install the plug-in or whatnot and where to pick it up. And if you guys need any help, please reach out. Join my Facebook group, The Original Dude with a Laser, with a Z, not an S. And then, tag me or shoot me a PM if you guys need help. If you want to send me photos of, something up close like this, when you guys are getting to burn your first photo with it, if you guys can send me something detailed like this, I'll be able to guide you with the rest of the settings and get you on the path to this result here. Because really it's just a matter of machine settings and calibrating your machine, making sure your gantry is level with your material so it stays focused, left to right on the x-axis and then on the y-axis. And of course, you get a little bit further away and it really starts coming together, looking real nice. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm definitely going to make more. I'm going to make some tutorials on how to do things like this here. Let me show you. I just made this here the other day, and I inlaid walnut into the green cell cast acrylic there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to backlight this. I'm going to put lights back here that are going to, I'm going to build a box back here that's going to fit flush, fill this void between the wall and the back of the sign here. This white acrylic here is actually going to be used to diffuse the light coming through. So it's not, super bright or clear and, you just see the lights and everything else. It's really hard to see this in this light here, but so I'm going to make a tutorial on how I made this. And I'll go ahead and load up my design in here that I've been working on. Let me see here. Okay, so this is the sign here. And this is what I'm making. It's going to be 20 millimeters thick. It's going to be compact. It's going to hold the battery. And then in the side of the box here, this is going to be the bottom. I'm going to have the battery in a tray. Stoppers. It's going to drop down 2.5 inches so the battery can eject, so you can easily charge it. And there's not going to be any ugly wires or anything like that hanging out or plugging into the wall. It'll be real slick when it's done. It takes a little time. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this out of, I don't want to use clear acrylic for this because there's gonna be lights and wires. It'll be a labyrinth inside here, so I don't want people to see that. So I'll probably use some walnut or just use some of that white acrylic again to finish it off. That'll look pretty nice. And if you want to get really fancy, you could take apart a DVD player, an old one, and take out the tray and the motors and the screw drives and whatnot, and you could make this motorized, drop out. You could put knock sensors inside, so when you knock on it, this, you know, a certain combination of knocks, this tray will open up. I was gonna make a gun safe like that once, but I figured it's probably not too safe for my kids and whatnot to do that, so I just hold off on that. But it's totally possible. So this will be the same concept, but you know, a battery is gonna come out. There'll be a little slim battery that you can buy at Walmart or Amazon or whatnot. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'll make a full tutorial on how I did that and how I inlaid the walnut into the acrylic. Let's go back and check on the photo here. I'm sorry if the lighting's bad, guys. Again, I'm running this on a AP Lazer 4024. You can see how far away I'm focused. I'm using a 2.5-inch lens there. It's not the greatest for detail, guys, but when you get that thing focused, man, it really does a great job. See that? And that's exactly what's in the process photo, dot for dot. It's all there, and that's exactly what you'll be looking for. Whether you're engraving on tile or wood, it's much easier to see on tile because there's more contrast naturally on that if you painted a white tile painted black or whatnot. But that's exactly what you'll be looking for. And then you basically just adjust the power to start getting the shades that you want. You know, it'll naturally come together. This plug-in, as you can see, the blacks, they don't go that deep because the process is balanced really well. So it's gonna burn evenly down through the substrate no matter what power you use. You can do a surface burn or you can give it some oomph like this one here. This one I'm at about, what am I at here? 56.5% power. And this is a 100-watt machine, and you can see it's not getting very deep at all. That's because of the process. You know, you can make any 3D photo you want. You see people selling them on Etsy or whatnot, but you know, most likely they're probably using this plug-in to process the photos to sell to you, when you could just get this plug-in and do it yourself very easily. Again, this is about 28 by 15. But I better end this live though before my phone dies, and then it's not going to save, and you know the drill on that. So I appreciate everybody watching. Check back. I'm going to be putting a lot more content on my YouTube channel now. Show you guys all kinds of tips and tricks for photos and plain old vector engraving and whatnot. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys.